Well, howdy folks, and welcome back to your home port. I'm Harbourmaster Hugh, and today I'm going to give you just the facts on the G-101. This is the Tier 3 German destroyer here in game. The 101's a good all-around destroyer at Tier 3, but like every single ship in game, it has its own strengths and weaknesses that you've got to keep in mind in order to be successful. So first, let's have a look at the survivability rating. 11,000 hit points. Not too bad. I mean, it's Tier 3, it's a destroyer. I mean, you're not going to have a lot. You are not relying on absorbing damage to be successful with this ship. You must avoid damage at pretty much at all costs, if you can. Now let's have a quick look at the armor layout. And we'll turn off everything at first and just look here at the Citadel. Citadel sticks up way out of the water, as you can see here. Hit the ship in the sides. You are likely to Citadel it because the plating, we have 10 millimeters here, 10 millimeter deck, 10 millimeters on the above water sections, 6 millimeters on the lower section, and 10 millimeters on the very bottom. Basically for running aground, I suppose. So the Citadel, definitely a weak spot. Again, for a ship of this size and stature, I guess it's all right, but very vulnerable there. Let's have another look here at, we'll just bring the guns up. Basically, it's not that the guns have a shield on them, but they have enough armor on them, thicknesses for 6 millimeters. Basically just to save it from shrapnel, I suppose. Not that the gun crew in this open area would survive, but there it is. Now we have another look here at the superstructure. We've got basically 6 millimeters. I guess the smokestacks are fairly important, so they've made them 6 millimeters, and a little bit here at the back. What else have we got? Okay, so I'm going to turn all of that off so we can look at the fore and aft plating on its own without anything in the way. So let's look at the rear first. Our basically everything on the rear almost 6 millimeters. Lower parts also 6 millimeters, and the rudder and everything 6. When we look at this one above, the one that's above the water here, the fore and athwart ship, 10 millimeters. So I guess if you're taking shots from behind as you're running away from something, that's supposed to try and protect you from getting into the command area there. Now we got 10 millimeter deck again, 6 millimeter on the fore end plating, and 6 millimeter on the very bottom. So there you go. Armor, not so much, but this thing's definitely built for speed and maneuverability, not for slugging it out and absorbing damage. Now we'll look here at the artillery. Our main battery, 105 millimeter guns. There's 4 of them. That's a step up from the V25. It only had 3. These guns have a range of 9 kilometers, and that's that's quite all right, Tier 3. But when you look at the detectability by sea distance of 6.7, so that gives you a 2.3 kilometer buffer. That's not too bad, but let's, at the speeds things are moving in a battle, you've got to be mindful of that barrier before you start firing and make yourself detectable. Now, the reload on these guns is actually quite nice. It's only 3.6 seconds. It has a 180-degree turn time of 18 seconds. It could be a little faster. These, when you're having a knife fight between destroyers, it's 18 seconds is a little long. Sometimes it's hard to keep your guns on the target while you're twisting and turning. They have a maximum dispersion of 82 meters, which is not too awful bad over 9 kilometers. Yeah, fairly accurate. Not too bad at all. They have decent penetrating power, too. You can Citadel Tier 3 cruisers with these when you're up fairly close. Now your HE shell has a maximum damage potential of 1,200 hit points. Not too bad. Chance of fire on target is 5.5%. That's not too bad at all. Your AP shells have 2,300 points of maximum damage, and both shell types have an initial velocity of 715 meters per second, and that's not super fast. So you're going to have to lead a little bit. You're going to see the marking a little bit, but that's not too bad. Not too bad. You get a little bit of plunging fire on people that way at your end of your 9 kilometers. Looking at the torpedoes. Now, this is one of the main weapons of a ship like this, and this ship has 6 torpedo tubes. And interestingly, 2 of them are right up front here on the ship there. You can see them there. Now these have a very excellent firing arc as well. You do not have to go broadside onto somebody to get these things to fire. So probably a 25-35 degree angle will get you something clear to fire at. And a lot of people don't realize that these things are packed in these forward firing tubes. So you can surprise a lot of people, and that's pretty nice. So then also We have 2 dual tube launchers here at the back. They're all firing the same size 500mm torpedoes with a torpedo range of about 7 kilometers. Not too bad at all. They're a little slow though, only 52 knots. There's certain signals you can fly to make them go a little faster, but it reduces their range. You can get an extra 5% in speed for minus 20% of range or something like that. Yeah, or 10% speed. It's not that great. The interesting thing about your torpedoes here, okay, a reload time of 34 seconds. That is not too bad. 180-degree turn time of the torpedo tube launchers is only 7.2 seconds, so that's quite good. Maximum damage, 10,600 points. Not bad. It's not too bad. Tier 3, remember. Torpedo range 7, as we said. Now, your detectability range of your torpedoes is only 1 kilometer. Now, 1 kilometer, if you're firing at a big ship, that is going to be pretty tough. Even at 52 knots, it's going to be tough for them to get out of the way. So a properly aimed shot at a large ship, you're probably going to get your hits. Trying to shoot them at a destroyer, if they're paying attention, they'll probably make it out of the way. Yeah, moving on to the Aaa Defense, we have a rating of 2. And that's because we only have 2 7.92mm machine guns. And I mean, they are very much right there. There's one there, and there's one on the other side of the ship. Very much World War I vintage. Well, as is the ship, right? So don't be relying on your anti-aircraft for pretty much anything. Fortunately, you won't have to deal with too much aircraft unless you run into Tier 4 carriers, and you may do so. You may even run Tier 5 carriers on the extreme, but you're going to have to be very mindful of that you really don't have any Aaa Defense. Find people who do and escort them. And maneuverability. On this ship, not too bad. We got a maximum speed of 33.5 knots. You can bump that up with signals, and you can also bump that up with the engine boost consumable. Rudder shift time, 2.9 seconds. Not bad. Not too bad. It'd be nicer as a destroyer if it was a little bit better, because, again, you get into a knife fight with another destroyer, you want maximum maneuverability, but it's quite workable at 2.9 seconds. Now, I'll have a quick look here at the modules. And I should mention that all the numbers I've been giving you here is from a fully upgraded ship. You've got the B hull, upgraded torpedoes, and the upgraded firing control system. Well, folks, that is just the facts on the G-101, the Tier 3 German destroyer here in World of Warships. I hope I've given you some insight into how this thing is going to work, and hopefully you'll be successful with it. Well, folks, there you have it. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below. If you really enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. Let me know in the comments. As well, be sure to visit my social media pages, both on Facebook and Twitter. This is where I post info that, well, not belonging in a video, it's worth taking a look at. I would also like to give a shout out to my Patreon supporters. You folks are making a huge difference for me. If you like what I do and enjoy the community all of us humans are building, please consider supporting the mission via my Patreon page. There are quite a few options with varying levels of support. Maybe one of them will suit you. Links to all things in the video description. Alright folks, thanks very much for stopping by and watching. I'll catch you next time.